Hi, here at Yellow Bike, when we refurbish a bike with a coaster brake, we put in about 3 to 5 hours of labor. The first thing we do is remove the seat post and the handlebar stem, because if those can't be adjusted, the bike has really limited use for its next user. Sometimes the stem gets rusted in place and needs to be tapped free before it can be completely removed. It'll be greased up and reassembled a little bit later. The next thing I do is remove the rear and front wheels. The rear wheel has several things you have to consider. There's the lock nuts, which are being loosened, and then there is a screw which holds the coaster brake in place. That has to be removed, and then once that is removed, you can move the axle a little bit to free the rear cog from the chain. Once the chain is free of the rear cog, you can remove the rear wheel. The front wheel is a little bit easier. It just has the lock nuts and a special safety washer, which has a tab which fits into the fork, which keeps the wheel from falling off, even if the lock nuts are a little bit loose. Next, I'm going to work on the headset area where the steering tube is. There is a lock nut as well, and then there are several washers. Most of them have little tabs which fit in a notch in the steering post. So the last one I'm removing here is the headset race. It sits next to the bearings. Inside, next to the cup, is some caged bearings. Sometimes the bearings are just loose and they can fall out, so be careful. On the bottom side of the steering tube is another set of caged bearings, and there's a race which is attached to the fork. Those will be cleaned, relubricated, and reassembled. The last part I'm going to move off the frame is the one-piece crank, which goes through the bottom bracket housing. And if you notice that the left side pedal, I have to unscrew in a clockwise motion. The retaining nut also unscrews in a clockwise motion, which is reverse threaded. So that is removed. There's a notched washer. And then there's the adjustable race, which holds the bearings between the race and the cup. So again, this unscrews in a clockwise manner on the left side. So beneath the race is another set of bearings. These bearings again are caged, but sometimes they are loose. So I go to the other side, and I should have removed the chain guard first, but I'll remove it now. This one has 2 screws that I need to remove. After the chain guard is removed, I can move the one-piece crank through the bottom bracket housing. The video isn't the best right here. I've moved it out of the proper position for the camera, but hopefully you can see me maneuvering the one-piece crank through the frame, revealing one more set of caged bearings, which sits next to a race on the right side. So I'm going to clean all these pieces, relubricate them, and reassemble the bike. This particular chain is going to be replaced, but that's what we do at Yellow Bike.